All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Meghalaya and Tripura today to launch projects worth over 6,800 crore rupees in the two states. National Human Rights Commission to depute its own team for on-the-spot inquiry into Bihar hooch tragedy. India says reversing ecosystem degradation and halting global biodiversity loss are essential for socioeconomic development and well-being of people. Indian origin Leo Varadkar is the new Prime Minister of Ireland. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates him. Indian women's hockey team beat Spain 1-0 to lift the FIH Nations Cup in Valencia. And in football, France to clash with Argentina in the final of FIFA World Cup in Qatar tonight. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Meghalaya and Tripura today. Mr. Modi will launch projects worth over 6,800 crore rupees in the two states. In Meghalaya, the Prime Minister will participate in the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the North Eastern Council in Shillong this morning. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will also attend the function. More from our correspondent.
During his one-day visit to Shillong, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will attend and address the meeting of the North Eastern Council as part of its Golden Jubilee celebration. It may be mentioned that the NEC has played a key role in the socio-economic development of the North Eastern region and has lent support to various infrastructure projects and other development initiatives across all states of the region in the last 5 decades. In the public rally scheduled later today, the Prime Minister will inaugurate, dedicate and lay the foundation stone of multiple projects worth over 2,450 crore rupees. The Prime Minister will dedicate to the nation 4G mobile towers, of which more than 320 have been completed and around 890 are under construction. He will also inaugurate the new campus of Indian Institute of Management Shillong at Umsauli. He will inaugurate the Shillong-Dieng-Paso Road, which will provide better connectivity to New Shillong Satellite Township and decongest the existing Shillong city. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate 4 other road projects across 3 states, namely Meghalaya, Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh. This is Rustam for AIR News Shillong.
The Prime Minister will then travel to Agartala in Tripura, where he will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of various key projects worth over 4,350 crore rupees at a public function in the afternoon. Mr. Modi will launch the Greh Pravesh program for beneficiaries under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, both urban and rural. These houses developed at a cost of over 3,400 crore rupees for more than 2 lakh beneficiaries. Our correspondent has filed this report.
For a few hours of visit to the state, Prime Minister is scheduled to arrive at the MBB International Airport, Agartala at 2:15 p.m. During his visit, the Prime Minister will address a public gathering at Swami Vivekananda Maidan. There, he will interact with the beneficiaries of both PM Awas Yojana, Gramin and Urban. Mr. Modi is also scheduled to inaugurate State's first dental college in Agartala and some other projects. Today, Mr. Modi will also lay foundation stones of various other road projects. Rina Nomaithem, AIR News, Agartala.
Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah presided over the 25th Eastern Zonal Council meeting in Kolkata yesterday. In his inaugural address, Mr. Shah said that in the last 8 years, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, more than 1,000 issues were discussed in the meetings of the zonal councils. He said that 93% of these issues were resolved, which is a huge achievement. The Home Minister said that in the next 25 years, during the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, the eastern region of the country will play an important role in the development of the country. The BJP has slammed Congress leader Rahul Gandhi over his demotivating remarks on the Indian Army Jawans in Arunachal Pradesh. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, party spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia said, "Whenever country's army displays valor and courage, it brings a moment of pride for fellow citizens." He said such remarks by Mr. Gandhi degrade the morale of the Indian Army.
भारत की 1 इंच भूमि किसी ने ना कब्जाई है और ना किसी में ये हिम्मत है कि श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी जैसा मजबूत नेतृत्व हमारे पास हो, विश्व की सबसे वीर सेना हमारे पास हो। जब जब हमारी वीर सेना अपना शौर्य, अपना पराक्रम दिखाती है, तो ऐसा क्यों है कि भारतीयों की छाती 56 इंच की हो जाती है, लेकिन दर्द होता है तो हमारे दुश्मन देश को और राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी।
BJP President JP Nadda has also condemned the remarks of Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, saying that the Indian Army is a symbol of bravery and valor. The National Human Rights Commission NHRC has decided to depute its own team for an on-the-spot inquiry in the wake of more deaths reported in other districts of Bihar in the hooch tragedy. Our correspondent has the details.
The Commission is concerned to know as to where and what kind of medical treatment is being provided to the victims. The Commission said that most of the victims belong to poor families and probably cannot afford costly treatment in private hospitals. NHRC said the state government should provide the best possible medical treatment to victims. The Commission said the NHRC team would like to know about the relief and rehabilitation given by the state government as well as the measures taken or proposed to be taken to dismantle clandestine hooch manufacturing hotspot across the state. Krishna Kumar Lal, AIR News, Patna.
Union Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav has said that reversing ecosystem degradation and halting global biodiversity loss are essential for the socio-economic development and well-being of people and for advancing global sustainability. He said India is working towards restoring and conserving its rich biodiversity, which includes one of the world's richest mix of flora and fauna. Addressing the stock-taking plenary at the UN Biodiversity Conference COP15 in Montreal, Canada, Mr. Yadav underlined India's position that while the goals and targets set in the global biodiversity framework should be ambitious, they should also be realistic and practical.
The goals and targets set in global biodiversity framework should be ambitious yet realistic and practical. Conservation of biodiversity must also be based on common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities as the climate change processes affect biodiversity. Excellencies, for the developing nations, agriculture is a paramount economic driver for rural communities and the critical support provided to these sectors cannot be redirected.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Welcome back. Indian origin Leo Varadkar has returned for a second term as Ireland's Prime Minister as part of a job-sharing deal made by the country's centrist coalition government. Lawmakers voted to approve Varadkar's nomination to replace Michael Martin during a special session of the Dáil, the lower house of Ireland's Parliament. His appointment was confirmed when he received the seal of office from President Michael D. Higgins. Earlier, Mr. Varadkar was the Prime Minister from 2017 to 2020. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Mr. Varadkar on assuming the office. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he values the historical ties, shared constitutional values and multifaceted cooperation between India and Ireland. Prime Minister Modi said he looks forward to working together to realize the full potential of our vibrant economies. On to sports. In hockey, the Indian women's hockey team defeated Spain 1-0 in the final to win the FIH Women's Nations Cup 2022 in Valencia, Spain yesterday. Gurjeet Kaur scored the winning goal of the match in the first quarter. India remained undefeated during the tournament and also got promoted to the 2023-24 FIH Hockey Women's Pro League. This was the inaugural season of the Women's FIH Nations Cup, with the promotion to next year's Women's Pro League Hockey up for grabs for the winner. In the 2022 T20 World Cup for the Blind, India defeated Bangladesh by 120 runs in the finals in Bangalore to win an unprecedented third consecutive title. Batting first, India scored 277 runs in their 20 overs yesterday. In reply, Bangladesh were all out for 157 runs in their 20 overs. Australia, Bangladesh, Nepal, South Africa and Sri Lanka competed in the third edition of the competition, which was hosted by India. The men in blue, who had previously won the title in 2012 and 2017, completed a hat-trick of wins by defeating Bangladesh in the final. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has congratulated the Indian team. In a tweet, he said, "India is very proud of their exemplary accomplishment." Congratulating the winning Indian team, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India is proud of its athletes. Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag Singh Thakur, has also congratulated the Indian team. The FIFA Football World Cup 2022 will conclude today as reigning champions France will clash with Argentina to retain their World Cup title at the Lusail Iconic Stadium in Qatar. The final match will start at 8:30 p.m. Indian time. The closing ceremony will be held at 7 p.m. just before the grand finale. Last night, Croatia beat Morocco 2-1 in the third-place playoff at the Khalifa International Stadium. We have a report.
The individual performances from Modric, Oršić and in particular Guardiola, who is undoubtedly the best defender of the tournament, earned Croatia the win over Morocco. Defender Josko Guardiola opened the scoring with an early header off a well-worked set piece. Morocco only needed 112 seconds to equalize off a free kick of Ashraf Dari. Finally, a brilliant curling effort from Oršić gave Croatia the lead at half-time, and they maintained the lead till the end of the match. With Brozovic out, Modric had been called upon to do much of the work off the ball and play in a much deeper role than usual. He has excelled at it, constantly taking up positions in front of the defense to make interceptions, break up play, and keep Croatia ticking with his long and short passing. The Atlas Lions' front line was excellent, but it is their defense that let them down with constant errors. Croatia capitalized on those mistakes and scored goals at the right time. Morocco came so close to scoring in the dying minutes of the added time, but En-Nesyri's header went wide. With Pratyush Ghosh, this is Shalini Verma, AIR News, Delhi.
In Chattogram cricketers, Bangladesh will resume their overnight score of 272 for 6 against India in the opening test this morning. Chasing a target of 513 runs, Bangladesh were 272 for 6 at stumps on fourth day of the match yesterday. Bangladesh now needs 241 runs in 90 overs on day 5 of the match today. The United Nations is looking to set up a multi-donor fund to revitalize, preserve and promote ancient and tribal languages across the globe, including ancient Indian languages such as Prakrit, Pali and Sharda, among others. The International Decade of Indigenous Languages program by the UNESCO has launched a task force in this regard. It aims to translate these languages into more accessible modern ones to preserve and promote them. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi will have shallow fog. Mumbai and Kolkata are likely to have clear sky. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Subhadra Ramachandran.
Thank you, Anuja. All the dailies have taken note of the doubling of GST prosecution limit. Economic Times write, GST prosecution threshold up, some offences decriminalized. Hindustan Times says UN looks to set up fund to promote ancient Indian languages. Sunday Tribune, quoting the Union Sports Minister, writes, 1,000 Khelo India centres to come up across the country by August 2023. The Hindu quotes the Home Minister suggesting the states to pitch in for security of border areas along with the Border Security Force. And finally, the Times of India writes about AIIMS becoming the first medical institute in South Asia to carry out a spinal surgery being done on a fully conscious and unanesthetized patient, getting discharged within a day. With that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Subhadra. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Meghalaya and Tripura today to launch projects worth over 6,800 crore rupees in the two states. National Human Rights Commission to depute its own team for on-the-spot inquiry into Bihar hooch tragedy. India says reversing ecosystem degradation and halting global biodiversity loss are essential for socio-economic development and well-being of people. Indian origin Leo Varadkar is the new Prime Minister of Ireland. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates him. Indian women's hockey team beat Spain 1-0 to lift the FIH Nations Cup in Valencia. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.